So I'm going to end my rant here now, Dom, on a few comments. For starters, number one, there are no moral victories when you haven't made the playoffs in 15 years. When you
Nope.
haven't made the playoffs in 15 years, I don't want to hear about moral victories. I mean, all I hear from Aaron Glenn, I know it's only been 3 weeks, but it agitates me. I feel like he's been here for 3 years. He says it in the post-game press conference. Oh, we got a lot to work on, but we're gonna get to work. The ship's building. It runs slow. Whatever that garbage comment he gave in the post-game last week. 15 years. There's no moral victories. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FTB podcast. I'm your host, Chris Nagulik. Alongside my co-host, Dom Savino, we will be discussing the week that unfortunately was. The Mets are cooked, while the Yankees are poised to claim home field advantage for the wild card series. The Knicks start training camp on Wednesday, while the Jets are going to jet, and the Giants look absolutely lost at quarterback. Does this already spell the end for New York football before October? Stay tuned to hear our thoughts. Do me a favor, take a seat.
Let's talk.
I can't believe Danny's friend Ryan is 3-0 in fantasy. This kid's so arrogant when he comes to winning. I don't know if you've been reading the chat at all, Dom, but he's like, just so you know, my team's 3-0. A beatdown on the commissioner. I mean, Danny's team is really going through it. I just lost James Conner for the season.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. Well, I might be
See,
3-0 too.
are you 3-0?
I'm like 87% chance to win after today.
Wow. Look at you.
So,
Comeback.
getting there. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not
No, I wouldn't.
keeping myself poised because,
Hey, don't forget, I started the season last year 2-0. Look what happened to me.
yep, you never know what could happen in the NFL with these injuries and, I don't know, people getting benched or whatever. It's weird.
Yeah.
Fancy. I said I wasn't going to do it. And then like a few days before, oh, you going to do it? All right.
Well, because they force you and then they hype it up and then it's like, oh, and then I remember Danny was saying to me, he was like, oh, well, if you're out and who am I going to get to fill the spot? And then, if Dom leaves, like 8 people is just not good enough. It's better to have 10. I was like, I don't know. You may have to find a couple of people. That's not my problem. But he's lucky enough. He should be paying me, frankly, to do this fantasy this year. But, whatever. I think
All right.
CeeDee Lamb got hurt too, dude. They're speculating he may be out for a
Like a
month and a half.
Yeah.
So anyway, how was your weekend?
Well, so yesterday I went to the Giant game and I got there at 2:30. Shout out to my neighbor John. He's the best. He has season tickets and sometimes he'll have an extra ticket and he'll invite me to go. And he has like a whole group of people that they do like a huge tailgate with every year. Every time I go, it's just amazing. The people are so nice and fun to be around and they make like incredible food. We had homemade pizza that my neighbor made. Some people made hot dogs with like sausage and onions, meatballs, what else? Pasta, ribs. So you're like a whole catering business that they have going on. It's like, it's insane. We got there at 2:30 and it was an amazing time as always. And then until it wasn't when the game started. So, but majority of the day, my day was good. So I had a good time still, even though that the Giants were awful, but it is what it is.
Exactly.
How about you? Your weekend?
It was good. Friday night had a 29th birthday party for my cousin. That was a lot of fun. Some of his friends are my friends and vice versa, kind of. A couple of kids my cousin has met skiing and snowboarding and all that, and I'd known them for, 5, 6, 7 years now. Friday was fun. Saturday didn't do much, and then Sunday just went to the golf range in the morning Sunday and then just watched some football. But Friday night was really the only night I actually did anything. I kind of just wanted to, take it low and slow here for the weekend. But yeah, just like you, man, watching those damn Jets. Watching football is just painful in New York most of the time, and I don't know. It is what it is. I got my Ryder Cup hat on with the Ryder Cup starting in a few days. My cousin's gonna have people over this upcoming Saturday, so that should be fun. But Yeah, that was the weekend. It was fine. Glad you enjoyed yours. But now, of course, transitioning into those damn New York football teams. Going to start with the NFL. Dom, Giants lose 22-9 to the Chiefs. Chiefs do not go 0-3, but the Giants do, and the Chiefs are now 1-2. As you kind of expected, Dom. You didn't really expect the Chiefs to go 0-3, but I got to be honest, man. That was a tough performance to watch from the Giants.
Season's over. It's over. It's completely over. The thing is, even if we do bring in Jackson Dart, he's going to get killed with this O-line. Now we have two solidified left tackle, right tackle, with Illuminor at right tackle, and now Thomas is back. Then also you have Marcus Bowe swinging, mostly left tackle now. But our guards are just completely awful. We can't run, pressure coming up directly in the A gap, and no matter what, even if Jackson Dart comes in, I can't really picture him doing like too much. I mean, he can definitely scramble better, and he's a little more poised in the pocket, but it seems like not even the receivers aren't really. They don't have enough time to even create separation because of how bad these interior linemen are. So, I mean, I don't want to see Dart really, but at this point, if we have any chance to save the season, which I doubt it, put him in. I went to the game and people were screaming all over the stadium, "We want Dart. We want Dart." I mean, do you blame them? I mean, no, you can't blame any fan who wants that at all. Russell Wilson is completely lost. Well, number one, there's no game plan. The game plan was to either throw it deep or to check it down to your running back, aka Cam Scatterboo. Tyrone Tracy dislocated his shoulder, so he's going to be out for a majority of the season, or if not the whole season. So Cam Scatterboo is going to be running his head into defenders for the rest of the season. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt either, because the way he plays football is just dangerous. But it's definitely fun to watch. But the first thing I want to start off when it comes to the Giants is the kicking issue. Graham Gano, the past 2 years, people can say he was hurt the past 2 years. Okay, now he's hurt again. He got hurt in pregame warmups. So on the first drive of the game, when the Giants had the ball, they went down the field. And then it was 4th and 5. I think it was 4th and 5 or 4th and 3. I couldn't remember. And they had to go for it from like the 30-something yard line because we had no kicker. He missed 16 games in the last 2 seasons, Graham Gano. He's made actually exactly 71% of his kicks in the last 2 seasons. He's 38 years old. We could have found someone, or at least another kicker, in the offseason because people had questions about him in the first place just because of his age. People are like, oh, he's healthy, so he should be good. But the man's 38 years old. And then also, if we cut him before the season started, we would have saved $3 million in cap space. So what's the point? Why didn't we look into any kicker? I can't tell you.
Dom, I don't
At least
think
competition.
but I don't think it's so much about the $3 million as much as it is about you should have game planned what the plan B is for kicker if you knew, which clearly I guess Shane didn't really know, what plan B would be to get another kicker in there because of Graham Gano's injury history.
I know, like, I only said that just because, $3 million can go towards any other player, like a minimum deal or something, like now we're low on linebackers because of Micah McFadden getting hurt. Maybe we could have got like a veteran linebacker who has experience and could have helped out with the linebacker or another kicker or any backup position that we need. Maybe another safety or another corner, something. I just said it just to say that we could have possibly picked up another piece for the team in the offseason. So that's just a whole disaster. And then we had our punter, Jamie Gillian, kicking. He attempted 1 field goal, gets blocked. So obviously that's not his fault, but we can't even block special teams. So that's awful. I mean, it was basically the Cam Scatterboo game because he led the team in carries, yards, and catches. 6 catches and catching and receiving yards. 10 carries, 60 yards, 1 touchdown, and 6 catches and 61 yards receiving. I mean, I already feel bad for him because he's going to have to mostly do everything this year, what it seems like, especially now with Tyrone Tracy out. We couldn't even get down the field unless the Kansas City Chiefs committed 3 to 4 penalties in one drive. That was the only way we were getting downfield. Russell Wilson wasn't even looking near the middle of the field. Either he's blind or nobody was open or the defense is just too good, which don't get me wrong. With Steve Spagnuolo as a defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, they're definitely a top defense in the league. They're really good, but you can barely even complete a pass. Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Neighbors, they had no catches in the first half. And Wan'Dale Robinson only had, on the day, 1 catch for 28 or 29 yards. Like, that doesn't sound like a well-organized team at all. And then Russell Wilson just throwing Hail Marys in the middle of games, hoping that one receiver will catch it. And it's not even close. Not even close. Not even close. Another amazing stat, which I know I'm bombarding with stats a little bit. 4 of 18, Russ in the red zone with no touchdown passes. 0.
That blows my mind.
4 of 18.
That blows my mind. That just mathematically doesn't compute to me.
No, it shouldn't. It really shouldn't to nobody. A lot of people are hating on Drew Phillips after he did have a bad game, which, I mean, everyone did. Every single person had a bad game. But these are real stats of Andrew Phillips being targeted a ton on 3rd and 4th down this year. And when he's targeted, it's been 8 of 11 for 91 yards. So 8 catches out of 11 targets for 91 yards, 2 touchdowns he's given up, and 2 penalties. That's not good at all. But the thing is, I can't blame him because he's a nickel. He's a nickel corner, first of all. And like sometimes they're playing him on the outside because maybe whatever terrible scheme that Shane Bowen has, whatever. I don't blame him because of the terrible scheme that they're in. Also, we're short on linebackers. So when the linebackers are really supposed to be covering either a tight end or a receiver, they're too slow or can't even cover them at all. So it's left with Drew Phillips in the backfield by himself. And he's not even that tall of a guy either. So I understand the frustration that I'm seeing this morning with the fans and Drew Phillips. Plus, he got benched, by the way. He got benched, and they had to put in Deonte Banks, which I'm over him because he shows no effort at all. It looks like he doesn't even want to be out there. When someone's running towards him, he barely even looks like he wants to tackle the player. So, I mean, everything is just such a huge mess. I mean, I don't know if you saw that video after the game. Odell Beckham Jr. was there at the stadium. He was talking to Malik Neighbors outside the locker room after the game, and you can just look on Malik Neighbors' face. He just looks diminished, tired, pissed off, all the above. The way that we're playing, I don't think players are even just going to want to stay here. Even though this is only Malik Neighbors' 2nd year, like.
Let me ask you, Dom, would you want to stay here?
What? No. Why?
Okay.
Why would I? I'm not blaming Neighbors or anybody. The people I blame are the coaching staff, the general manager, and the owner too. Because if you think about it, the owners have a lot to say in what the Giants are doing. They always have to check in with John Mara for any decision. And it seems like, except the only time that they didn't listen to John Mara was when they gave up Saquon. And look how that turned out. John Mara wanted him to stay. He said, give him whatever. We need him here. And Joe Shane's like, nah, I'm all right. I'm good. Everything that could have went wrong, went wrong. When it comes to the offensive line, when it comes to the quarterback, when it comes to the defense. I mean, Giants, they did hold pressure against the Chiefs, but Pat Mahomes is just like a lizard out there. Like he's slipping away. He just makes like very little movements just to get linebackers or DNs out the way. He's just so good of a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I really can't even blame the defense for it, even though it is their job to get to the quarterback. Pat Mahomes is like, if not the best at scrambling and getting away from defenders. But we do have pressure, but we have no coverage in our linebackers or our defensive backs. So even if we do get pressure, they can just throw the ball quickly, a slant, or every tight end in the league has their best game against the Giants because we cannot cover a tight end for the past 10 years. The middle of the field is always wide open. And still, I saw last game, same defensive scheme. They barely played man. 10 yards off the receiver, the cornerbacks, always playing deep coverage, like trying to do like that prevent 3 deep, like Madden play. That's what it seems like they do every single time. I did say a little stats and I could bombard you with more, but what's the point? They're awful. The season's done. And the last thing I'll say about the Giants is Jackson Dart and these RPO schemes. He's in for 3 plays last game. So he ran 2 successful plays in the RPO scheme that they have. Oh, good job, Jackson. Good job. All right, go sit back down and let me do the same play that we did with you, but with Russell Wilson. Why would that work with Russell Wilson? The man is 57 years old. Where is he going? Tell me, where's he going? Nowhere.
Nowhere. That's where
Nowhere.
he's going. Going nowhere.
I mean, hey, if I was Russell Wilson, I'd be scared for my life too behind this offensive line, but he
Mhm.
looks like a deer in headlights. I think it's just a slap in the face to these fans that you're just putting in Jackson Dart for 1 to 3 plays a game just for him to hand off the ball or for him to run. Him lowering his shoulder into defenders, what, you want him hurt too? How does this make sense?
It doesn't.
Nothing they do makes sense. I think every single fan has given up on this season already. Do I blame them? No. Am I one of those fans? Yes.
Yeah. I listen. 3 things I'll say before I touch on the Jets. 3 things I'll say. One, I'll tell you right now, the saving grace and the last chip that they could throw on the table is starting Jackson Dart. Now, does both Shane and Dable, they got to go? Okay, I don't blame Malik Neighbors. All these young players, talented, highly talented young players for being upset. Those guys got to go. They got to get a new regime in here. Number 2, the offensive line for the Giants. I mean, without we've said this last week already, without Andrew Thomas is just dreadful. I mean, it is absolutely terrible. And, having Jackson Dart play behind this offensive line is going to be tough even for him. But I'm telling you right now, I don't see how the Giants can continue the season after they lose to the 3-0 Chargers, mind you, on Sunday, because I don't see Russell Wilson getting out of Dodge from that one. When they go 0-4, the only choice that they have is starting Jackson Dart, hands down, because there's really nothing else that the Giants can do at this point. And number 3, I really honestly think I'm going to touch on the Jets right now. And obviously, you have the Giants. But, I know people get kind of annoyed when others say to them, stop going to games, stop showing up. I understand you go to a sporting event, it's a great experience. But let's call it a spade a spade. I mean, these New York football teams they're just trash.
Yeah, they're
They
awful.
they're not good. I mean, you're constantly wasting season ticket money and regular single game ticket money on teams that really, as me and Dom said before we started this episode, don't have a plan at all. They don't have a plan.
And if you
So
don't games, that doesn't help either. With no fans in the stands, it doesn't help at all. Don't get me wrong, MetLife is such a shitty stadium. It's so bad. They don't call it air conditioning for no reason. Just walking in there is just blah.
yeah,
There's no life. Wow, you see what I did there? There's no life to MetLife
mhm,
Stadium.
there you
That's fun.
go, bingo,
That's
good one.
funny. I don't even mean
We
to
should
do
use
that.
that.
I didn't even
That's
mean to
gonna
do
be.
that.
I should pin that one. That's good.
But yeah, it's just everything, the play, the atmosphere is just blah. I saw a storm of red jerseys last night. It was disgusting how many Kansas City Chiefs jerseys there were.
Yeah,
I'd say probably half the fans,
that's crazy. That's
maybe
wild.
40, and that's still not good. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot to say one thing
Mm.
about the Giants. Andrew Thomas, he would right before the season started, a week or two. No, probably like in training camp when training camp started. Oh, Andrew Thomas should be good to go, right? And then a week and a half, week before, they're like, oh, maybe Andrew Thomas may not play week 1. And then week 1 comes, he's out. Everyone's like, what? Like what the hell's going on? I thought you were healthy. Like you've been practicing. You didn't practice in OTAs though, and I think you missed very little of training camp. But most of the time, you've been practicing. And then week 2 comes, doesn't play either. And then week 3 comes, he's on a snap count. How much rest do you need when you've been out you haven't played and you've been resting for so long? And like, I know you need to get like your reps in, but I mean, the season is basically on the line anyway, which is insane to say, which after 2 weeks of football, this being the 3rd week, that the season is basically on the line. And then when it comes to Dayball and Shane, I honestly thought that Jackson Dart was coming in the second half to start. Like, genuinely, I actually thought that because of how bad he was, Russell Wilson.
Not being down 9-6, Tom.
But you would think to give like the team like a spark, and with Dayball and Shane like literally in fire on thin ice, you Like, I'm surprised they weren't so desperate to the fact where they're like, we got to put him in, of how bad
Yeah,
Russell.
I completely understand what you're saying. The last two things I'll say regarding the Giants, and then I'm gonna start with the Jets here, but they're going to lose to the Chargers on Sunday.
Of
They're going
course.
to be 0-4. Jackson Dart has to start after that. And second off, I'm not so much defending Andrew Thomas as to just say a Liz Frank injury is tough to recover from, Dom, because it's right in the middle of the foot and not a lot of blood supply goes there. So that's why people get scared. I mean, Michael Jordan almost had that injury in the 80s. He was this close to having a Liz Frank injury. His career would not be what his career was if he had that injury. It's a scary injury because there's not much blood supply that goes there for healing. And that's why it's a longer recovery time. Not trying to defend of how the Giants situated the injury on reporting him for the week or anything like that or the snap count. I'm not. I'm just telling you what I'm confident in knowing. That's all I'm going to say. So
Yeah.
that's all I'm going to say with the Giants. The Jets lost 29-27 to the Bucks. Well, they gave it their best shot. The problem is when you decide to not play 3 out of the 4 quarters, it's really hard to then just flip the switch and just try to make a improbable comeback and win the game. I mean, go ask Will McDonald. He was pretty upset about it after the game, and frankly, I don't blame him. Tyrod Taylor did okay. 26 for 36 passing, 197 yards, 2 touchdowns, but that interception was a big mistake in the game. But I will blame Garrett Wilson for it. You do have to come back and get the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm going to speak about him in a little bit. You saw that play, Dom.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, that was not good.
Not good. I'm just going to be flat out with it. There's no dogs on this team. There isn't. They don't have a wide receiver, too. Garrett Wilson, for how good he is, he made that big mistake on the interception. And I got to tell you, kid, you got to hit the gym. I mean, he looks so thin and so small on the field. I mean, my uncle even said it. He's like, this guy looks like a twig. Yeah, he's talented, but dude, you got to bulk up in the NFL. This ain't college no more.
Nope.
You got to bulk up. He looks too small, Dom.
Especially him after getting lit up by Jalen Ramsey in week 1.
And that is the first thing that I thought when I said that. Brees Hall can't really find any open lanes. So after week 1, this offensive line kind of got torched against the Bills and now against the Bucks. He's not being utilized correctly along with all the other players by Tanner Eggstrand. Brees Hall is not being utilized as a pass catcher. Braylon Allen is not getting enough carries. And when he is, the offensive line doesn't open up enough lanes. And really, he's just not showing the type of running back he can be, or at least the one that I expected him to be back when we talked about preseason and the anticipation of week 1 back in August. I mean, you had Braylon Allen. I'm remembering this play in my head. It was so bad. 4th and inches, you're handing the ball off to your running back who's 7 yards behind you. What? Are we fucking? Are we kidding? I mean, seriously, it's 4th and inches. Do a QB sneak. The hell are we doing? Handing it to the guy who's 5 to 8 yards behind you? Couldn't be more obvious what you're doing. I mean, damn. Look, Todd Bowles was flooding the box 3 out of the 4 quarters. I mean, he was playing blitz the whole entire time because as long as Garrett Wilson is covered, they don't care about Arian Smith. And Alan Lazard was active. He actually caught a touchdown. I mean, he barely caught it. He almost dropped it, and it was almost an incomplete pass on 4th and goal. But they don't care about anybody else. The Jets don't have a second wide receiver. So 4th and inches, naturally, they don't get it. So with Eggstrand, clearly the lights were on. Nobody was home because I don't know what the hell this guy was thinking. I mean, what a terrible decision. Isaiah Davis is never on the field. I mean, can we utilize the people you draft? Is that possible? I understand Malachi Corley had his problems on and off the field. He obviously had that dropped touchdown last year. That's essentially going to be the memory of him in a Jets uniform. But you didn't really utilize him last year. You've drafted guys. Denzel Mims was another wide receiver. Yeah, he didn't do great, but he also wasn't utilized very well. I mean, they always draft guys, and we just don't know what they're getting utilized for. Arian Smith, yeah, he got a couple of catches, but he obviously had that offensive penalty that costed them a first down on the first drive of the game. So, of course, Aaron Glenn chewed his ass off about that, and he wasn't happy about it, as he shouldn't be. The Jets have yet to find a true offensive coordinator with experience at spreading the defense and mixing up play calls. They can't find one. They just can't do it. So that's a problem. Now I'm going to move towards the defense. I mean, I said it last week. I'll say it again. The defense is not going to be good this year. Brandon Stevens is a complete waste of a contract. Okay, that 3-year, $36 million, it's going to keep just putting just a hole in your eyes every week because of how bad he is. Jamie and Sherwood he just continues to look lost. I mean,
He's
Jamie and Sherwood
yes,
is
yes.
another bad contract extension. I mean, he's just I'm not really sure if he knows what the whole concept of being a middle linebacker is. I'm not sure he has any idea. So that contract extension is bad. Andre Sisco is not an NFL player. The Jets essentially took $10 million and burned it in front of their faces. I mean, because this guy, I mean, he got burned. That last drive of the game, Dom, I don't know if you watched the highlights.
I
That
did.
was the easiest last drive of a game that I've ever seen. I mean, he got burned by Egbuka, who wasn't even really around for this game much. He had a great one-handed catch over Ahmad Gardner, but
Yeah, I was
yeah, that was an amazing catch, but he didn't really do much in this game. But of course, he burned Andre Sisco. Malachi Moore, he's playable, right? I mean, he's trying to do something out there. He just needs more reps and more time to develop. So I would keep on playing him. I'm not really sure where Tony Adams is for Monday night's game against the Dolphins. We'll obviously predict that down the episode, but he needs to keep playing. The last thing I'll say about the defense, for the folks who didn't listen to our episode last week, go back, listen to it, listen to my hot take. But I'm going to say it again. Ahmad Gardner is not going to have a good year this year. Didn't have another good game yesterday. Had a bad 3rd and 29 penalty that should have never happened. Yeah, could you say the ref shouldn't have called it? Sure, but listen, I'm not going to live in that world. They called it. There's nothing you could do about it. They're the officiating crew. It is what it is. But he just didn't have a good game. Gave up multiple catches. Again, had that 3rd and 29 penalty. I mean, when he actually made a tackle, Dom, he almost got concussed.
yeah, I saw that.
So I
Just
guess he should just not tackle anybody because when he actually makes a play, he got hurt. He luckily came back into the game, but he came back too late because they ended up already going halfway down the field, and it looked like an easy position for the field goal kick. He's got to do more than just collect the paycheck week to week. Now it's starting to ask the
that's
question,
it.
Dom, what does he do exactly?
Can't tell
What does
me.
he do?
It's a great question.
It's a
That is
fantastic question.
it's a great
He
question.
doesn't get interceptions. When he tackles, he gets hurt. He doesn't tackle even well enough. I mean, he gets, the occasional pass deflection, but he was getting burned on catches against, Mike Evans, who got hurt in the fourth quarter. I'll get into that in a bit too. But what does he exactly do? I mean, he's not looking like a contract extended player. So he's just collecting money at this point. And if this continues, Dom, it's not going to be a hot take. It's going to become a lukewarm take to then eventually become a freezing cold take because it's going to be that bad. So for now, I guess it's already trending towards a lukewarm take after the last 2 weeks he's performed, but it's trending towards a freezing cold take. Will McDonald had the only highlight on defense, but it wasn't even really on defense. It was on special teams. He had the amazing block punt that he returned for a touchdown. That's why I feel so bad for this kid. And he even said, he goes, yeah, the block field goal was good, but wasn't good enough to win us the game. So he didn't want to harp on it for too long. His interior lineman teammate, Quinton Williams, I mean, he forced a few penalties. He only has 1 sack on the season. He's trying, but frankly, he looks non-existent when it comes to QB pressures because really what help does he have next to him? I mean, yeah, they picked up Harrison Phillips and Jawan Briggs, but that's really for the run defense. In terms of passing, I mean, I watched. He was getting double teamed from time to time. So he doesn't really have much support. And he actually at least forced 2-3 penalties. Because that offensive line for the Bucs was like 3rd string offensive line. It was terrible. Brandon Stevens can't be your starting quarterback for much longer. I mean, I would put Azareye'h Thomas out there. I mean, he actually looked like he was playable, just like Malachi Moore. This is what I mean. I mean, these young guys need to start playing because the guys that are playing right now are just not cutting the mustard. They're just not doing it. The team as a whole played an awful 3 quarters. They tried to get back in the 4th, but let's be real, Dom. As you know with the Giants, if you don't play well 75% of the game, you're just not going to win football games. You're not going to come back every time and win. This is the NFL, not the CFL. You're not going to win. It's not going to happen. Tyrod Taylor was getting pressured all 3 quarters, thanks to no wide receiver too, as I mentioned before. Okay, Todd Bowles was a head coach for the Jets years ago, back when they should have made the playoffs 10 years ago, and they lost to Buffalo in Buffalo against our good old friend Rex Ryan. And Todd Bowles was just loading the box, and he was sending the blitz because the Jets' offensive line couldn't pick it up. And Tyrod Taylor was getting mushed out there. He was turning into absolute mush. And there's no wide receiver, too. So as I said before, as long as Garrett Wilson's covered, what do they care? They're going to keep on sending the blitz. The Bucs went into prevent mode on defense for the fourth. I mean, if anybody was wondering why, the Jets all of a sudden looked efficient on offense and saying, oh, where was this the first three quarters? It's because Todd Bowles took his foot off the gas pedal. I've seen it too many times with Todd Bowles being the head coach of the Jets. He does it. And then look at the position he puts himself in. I mean, Bucs fans must be losing their mind. But guess what? Welcome to the club. I was losing my mind when he was the head coach of the Jets. Bucs had a third string offensive line playing. Mike Evans got hurt. Dom even mentioned it before the episode started. Mike Evans got hurt in the fourth quarter. Egbuka was not utilized as much as expected. And Dom, Baker Mayfield was banged up.
Yep.
He shook his right hand like 4 times. I mean, capitalize for Christ's sake.
Yeah, he's my quarterback in fantasy, so that's not good.
Yeah. I mean, the guy was hurt. So I don't understand it. It should have been a win. And I feel bad for Will McDonald. He busted his ass trying to block the field goal. He had some good spin moves. He also caused a couple of penalties on the offensive line. I mean, the kid is such an athletic talent, but not playing well in 3 out of the 4 quarters, you're just not going to win in this league. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to end my rant here now, Dom, on a few comments. For starters, number one, there are no moral victories when you haven't made the playoffs in 15 years. When you haven't made the playoffs in 15 years, I don't want to hear about moral victories. I mean, all I hear from Aaron Glenn, I know it's only been 3 weeks, but it agitates me. I feel like he's been here for 3 years. He says it in the post-game press conference. Oh, we got a lot to work on, but we're gonna get to work. The ship's building. It runs slow. Whatever that garbage comment he gave in the post-game last week. I mean, 15 years. There's no moral victories. Number 2. You need to win games to change the culture of the franchise. There's no changing the culture. Dom knows. He's a Giant fan. You can't change the culture if you don't win. Don't give me this change the culture crap. None of it. You're not winning. You're 0-3. I don't care that you were up by a point with 1:49 left to play. I don't give a shit. You're not winning. That's that. And lastly, Aaron Glenn did show a ton of emotion on the sideline, which I do very much appreciate. I'm being serious. I do. Because, Robert Saleh would have just had his upset grin on his face walking towards the middle of the field to shake the opponent coach's hand. But enough with the narrative of this team always fights, never gives up, don't quit. It needs to end, okay? A loss is a loss on the record books. That's it. Enough with all this team fights. Yeah, they've been fighting for 15 years. Guess what? The fight's not working.
It's not working.
It's not working. Last time I checked, as I said when we first started this podcast, the last time this team made the playoffs, I was in 6th grade. I was in middle school. Middle school. I mean, what the hell? I mean, what are the Jets going to do? Win a game or two? I mean, the Panthers, they're playing the Panthers in a few weeks. I mean, I know the Falcons aren't a great team, but they beat the Falcons 30-0. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
They shut them out.
I couldn't believe it either.
Couldn't believe it. So are they going to even beat them? I don't know. Just now, also, Aaron Glenn didn't put out there who's going to be the QB Monday night against the Dolphins. He said, oh, I'm leaving that up in the air. So I don't know. I don't know what this team. Tanner Eckstrand, the first week, he looked great. The last 2 weeks, not so much. I don't know what he's running. I mean, if you see a blitz, maybe have like Breece Hall catch a screen pass. Or, after a while, you got to adjust your scheme. Dom was talking about scheme before the episode. I told him that I was listening to Tiki Barber on WFAN this morning. He was talking about how it's so frustrating watching the Giants play football because their scheme is not right. And he's 100% right. The 2 things that help you win in the NFL is scheme and athletic talent from your players. He's 100% right. And the Giants and Jets have athletic players. They have talent. Both teams do, on offense and defense. But you have to have the coaching staff, an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach, all come together and gel. And I'm not seeing it for either team. And I'll tell you right now, mark my words, this is looking like a one-and-done year for Steve Wilkes.
And it's really like upsetting too for both teams because, like, let's say even for your sake, if Elijah Vera Tucker was in, how much of a difference is it going to make? It's really not going to make that big of a difference.
I was going to say not much, bro.
Like, same with the Giants. I mean, everyone saw it. Like, Andrew Thomas played great, but in his snap count that he had, in his limited capacity that he played, still nothing.
I mean, to think, Dom, I'm hoping, because at this rate, folks, I want somebody winning in football. I mean, I know I'm a Jet fan, but I got absolutely no animosity towards the Giants. I really, really hope Jackson Dart is successful. I really do. Where in the hell is the resolution at quarterback for the Jets? Where is it? Where is it? Are we just going to keep on filtering through quarterbacks? It's going to relate to Mets management. I'm going to get to the Mets later, but it relates to Mets management. I mean, you're just going to keep on filtering through managers? I mean, just like the QB here with the Jets, you're going to keep on filtering through QBs? When are you
It,
going to figure it out?
it all starts with the offensive line. That's all that we both have terrible offensive lines. I mean, look at Daniel Jones in freaking Indianapolis right now. It's 3-0. 3-0. This is the best year he's ever looked. I mean, he's making throws that I've never even seen him make. I've never seen him be so elusive out of the pocket. He looks way more athletic than I ever thought he was. He looks like a whole completely different player.
He
And then
does.
like every time, it's hilarious because every time it's like, oh, like what do you think is like what's going on like with this team? Like why do you think this team is like working and why is it like a special team? He's like I just feel like we have a lot of smart guys here. It's like he'll literally say that. He's like, yeah, we just have like a really like a lot of smart guys like in this locker room and like
Wow.
on this staff.
Wow.
We have terrible coaching. We have a terrible offensive line. You need both those things.
That's
I mean,
hilarious.
could you imagine if Justin Fields has like a lot of time in the pocket? He could play. Justin Fields could play.
Oh my God.
I mean,
That's insane.
it looked great week one. I mean, like him reuniting with his college wide receiver and looked like they had amazing chemistry. Like I really thought after week one, even though you guys lost, you guys have something to look forward to. And then what happened? And same with the
I don't
Giants. It just seemed like we played against one of the worst defenses in the NFL and the Cowboys. That's why we put up, what, 37 points against them? Yeah, we go against a really good defense in the Chiefs. We put up 9.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen, I will see what the Jet season is, but it wouldn't surprise me. Nothing would surprise me if they went 0-17, if they only won 2, 3 games, if they won 4 games. I mean, honestly, I don't know what this team is after 3 weeks, and honestly, we'll just have to keep on watching the rest of the season to see where it's at. But yeah, it is what it is. That's the Jets and the Giants. Take a seat. Let's grade. Report cards now, Dom. What are you giving the Giants for last night's game?
An H or a G or a Z, something like that.
Oh,
You get the gist.
that's crazy.
How about you?
Uh, yeah, for me, for the Jets, I mean, it can't be an F because they scored 27 points and they were actually winning with under 2 minutes left. Truthfully, I'm gonna give it a C. I'm gonna
That,
give it a flat C.
that sounds
You
right.
think that's fair?
That sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Because I was going back and forth between like a C and a B minus, but I'm gonna give it a C. And it's really Will McDonald. If Will McDonald didn't make that play, it probably would have been a D or a D plus. But because he made that play, it's just I mean, that was the easiest last drive of a football game I think I've ever seen. This defense for the Jets is so bad, and it's going to continue to be bad. And I don't see it getting really any better. And speaking of injuries, Dom, Quincy Williams hurt his shoulder. You talked about Tyrone Tracy. Quincy Williams hurt his shoulder. I mean, that is a massive loss. He's the only guy on the defensive side of the ball that can tackle. I mean, he's literally the only tackler the Jets have on defense. You know, maybe aside from his brother Quinnen, but Quinnen's too busy getting double teamed. So
Yes. Same with Dexter.
yep, exactly. But yeah, I would give a flat C to the Jets. So that's it for the NFL. The NBA, not really much to touch on. The Knicks are going to be starting training camp on Wednesday with their first preseason game on October 2nd versus the Sixers in Abu Dhabi. We'll see who gets traded, who makes the Knicks roster. Literally, only time will tell, and see how these guys perform in training camp in the preseason games. But Dom, there was one thing I said to you before we started this episode. Within these 3 leagues, you know, we don't cover hockey, but, you know, back 30 years ago, 1994, the Rangers won the Stanley Cup. And, you know, the Rangers should make the playoffs. I believe this year, and what I was even told by my uncle, they should. But between the NFL, NBA, and MLB, I don't think the Knicks have had this high of anticipation and expectation in 30 years.
You're right.
Easily the Knicks, right now, as we see it, between these last 3 weeks that we've been seeing with the Jets and the Giants. Yes, the Yankees will make the playoffs. Mets I'll get into after Dom talks about the Yankees, but easily the Knicks are the highest amount of expectation out of any New York sports team out of these three leagues. Wouldn't you agree?
Of course, and I mean, especially with all these, like what we've been talking about the past few episodes, whenever we talk about the Knicks, is we just keep getting a lot of chances. Last year, I think everyone thought that we could have beat the Pacers. We didn't. Then the year before that, we had a great shot, and then everyone got hurt. And now this year, we're getting somewhat lucky again with injuries, with Tyrese Halliburton being out for the year and Jason Tatum being out for the rest of the year. So really, our only competition as of right now, before the season starts, will most likely be the Cavs. And like, if you want to put the Pistons in there, you can put the Pistons because they're getting better and better. The Magic, but that's it. I don't think anyone has any high expectations for the Celtics or Pacers now, especially with also Miles Turner going to the Bucks. So he's not even on the Pacers anymore. So this is our year to do it. This is our year.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I 100% agree. So yeah, we'll talk about the NBA a lot more as we get closer. Opening night again for the Knicks. Cavs at Knicks, October 22nd, Wednesday night. Me and Dom may try to go to that game that night. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, and then maybe we'll try to. We are going to try to do a live stream soon. I mean, maybe with baseball playoffs. Technically, Dom, baseball playoffs starts a week from tomorrow. We're recording on Monday as we always do, and baseball playoffs is a week from tomorrow. So me and Don will be having discussions about that off air, and then we'll see. We'll try to let everybody know when we're going to go live. But that's the NBA. And now going to the MLB. Dom, Yankees are poised to have home field advantage for the wild card series. They went 5-2 on the week, taking care of business, which is something the Mets don't really understand. So the Yankees went 5-2 on the week, and yeah, they look pretty good, and they're clicking at the right time.
They look good. Our bullpen is getting the job done. We're starting to hit. Jazz looking great. We got Bellinger hitting. Ben Rice going crazy. Giancarlo Stanton still being Giancarlo Stanton. Aaron Judge has been red hot the past 2 weeks. This is the perfect time. And now we got Cam Schlittler getting even better and better by the start. So this is the exact perfect time for us to be looking good. But we still love to play down to our competition. I said last week we can go undefeated this week. And the first game they lose 7-0 to the Minnesota Twins, who we absolutely cooked last series we played them. So I don't know, maybe they don't like me, the Yankees, or something. But I don't know. But it was very bad on the 16th. And Luke Weaver, we all know as Yankee fans that he has not looked anything near the same compared to last year, ever since he got hurt this year. So after the Twins' terrible outing that he had on the 16th, he had a 6.21 ERA in 34 games since returning June 20th from a strained left hamstring. And before that, he had a 1.05 ERA in 24 games. That's pretty awful. I mean, obviously, it's not just him, though. Like, our relievers throughout most of the year have been really bad. The Yankees relievers, they have a 5.38 ERA since the All-Star break, which is 28th in the league. And they're only ahead of the Twins and the Rockies. I mean, we are getting better in our bullpen as of the past month, but we just got to keep this momentum going. We really do. I don't know what to expect because Cam Schlittler, he's still a rookie. People need to understand that. Aaron Judge, when it comes in the playoffs, we all know that he chokes. Anthony Volpe has been having a bad year. Will he get better in the playoffs? We don't know. Now we have Cody Bellinger on our team. I mean, now we have Paul Goldschmidt. I really have a lot of question marks. So I don't know how this playoffs is going to go. And also with the Yankees, we still do have a chance to win the division. So both the Yankees and the Blue Jays, they have 6 games left. And the Yankees, they have to play the White Sox and then Baltimore again. And then the Blue Jays have to play Boston and Tampa. So we have to go 6-0 and the Blue Jays have to go 3-3. We just have to win 3 more games than the Blue Jays. I mean, is it possible? Of course it is, but that's going to be really hard to do with the way the Blue Jays have been playing. And a few other things. Devin Williams, he had a very good start last night. He struck out the side, which I couldn't believe. I thought I saw Santa Claus or something. That was freaking nuts. Bednar, he's looking good. He's been looking good for the past month. I'm glad that he's been getting hot at the right time. Luke Weaver got us out of a base loaded jam in the bottom of the ninth, which was really good to see, especially from him with the way he's been struggling. Ben Rice had a grand slam, go ahead grand slam in the 10th inning last night, which he's been our probably most consistent hitter all year,
He's
and
good, man.
he's really
He's
good. And I'm glad that he also catches, because if he only played first base, it'd be a little bit of a struggle. I mean, also due to the fact that Austin Wells cannot hit anything. He looked red hot in the beginning of the year. Then after that, crickets. So that's that. Cam Schlittler only allowed a run and 3 hits in 5 1/3 innings, and he struck out 6 and only walked 1. So Cam Schlittler, he's been my bright spot to watch this year. I love watching him pitch. He looks poised. I think he's our fastest pitcher when it comes to miles an hour. We need that. We need that in the postseason. And like another thing with the postseason is the Yankees, they can crush 101-mile-an-hour fastballs, but for some reason in the playoffs, I've said this in multiple episodes, they can't hit anything past 98 miles an hour. I don't know why. I just think that it's a mental thing. And when it comes to the playoffs, the Yankees, they play zero small ball. They don't bunt. They don't hit for contact. It looks like every single time that a Yankees player is up, they try to swing for the fences. They need to change that mentality. They need to play small ball. That's the only way you're going to win in the playoffs. That's probably the most important thing you need for the playoffs as an offensive team. You need to play small ball. You need to bunt. You need to sacrifice. You need to steal bases. The little things is what gets you far into the playoffs. And I mean, with the way that the Yankees have been this year, it's been up and down. It's been King Dakar roller coaster. Rest in peace to King Dakar. But I don't know. I really can't tell you. I can't tell you what to expect when they reach the playoffs. If it's either the wild card or the divisional round, I can't tell you.
Yeah, I was just looking at Austin Wells' batting average, 216. What the
Great,
hell
right?
happened?
Great, right?
I can't even believe that. All
Yeah,
right. Well, yeah, as you said, good thing Ben Rice can catch.
yeah.
That's important. Sheesh.
Like,
All right.
because like we would have Paul Goldschmidt at first, and then we need John Carlos Stanton to play DH.
Yeah. Well,
We
what
can't.
is Paul Goldschmidt's batting average right now?
Off the top of my head, I cannot tell you, but it's definitely high.
He's
Tell you that
hitting,
much.
wow, he's hitting 278. Hmm.
Yeah, earlier in the season, like I'd say probably like 2 months ago, he's probably hitting like around 300.
Yeah. Yeah. Even before his pinch hitting appearance on Sunday, he was hitting 279. That's good. Wow. Yeah, you can't take him out. Yeah, good
Nope.
thing Ben Rice can catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank-
Yeah. That makes
Well, yeah,
sense.
but we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's still possible for us to win a division, but it'll be hard.
It is. And 6-0 is tough, Dom. I mean,
Yep.
I even thought that's why I thought your 7-0 take was pretty bold, because that's very hard to do. It doesn't matter who you play. They should sweep the White Sox. We'll see with the Orioles. They obviously didn't, but a 4-game set is tough to sweep. You're going to drop a game here and there. All right, so you're good on the Yankees?
Yeah. Just a whole lot of question marks from this team as it's been the whole year. So
Mhm.
nothing has changed from their part. Even hasn't changed for the past year. Even last year, it's been all question marks. Like I was just so surprised they even made the World Series last year. But
Mhm.
it seems like the AL is just weak. It's
It's
just
not great.
a
Yeah,
weak conference.
I know. It's not great. All right. Yeah, talking about this god awful team. Mets go 3-3 on the week. I'm not gonna read stats. They took 2 of 3 from the Padres. We thought maybe that was a good momentum shift. Honestly, could have swept them if Peterson remembered how to pitch as an all-star last Wednesday. They lost 2 of 3 to the Nationals, and that's where that really brings me. Folks, you could sell me on whatever you want to sell me. The Mets are not making the playoffs this year. I think they're cooked. From what I saw, even defensively, forget about offensively and timely hitting. I mean, that was a absolutely horrendous and just terrible defensive display of baseball this past weekend. And to lose to a last place team that has 60 something wins, has over 90 losses, it just can't happen. I don't know how much hope you can really have with this team. There's really no other way around it. And I've said this so many times, and I'll say it again. I'll say it 100 times if I need to. This pitching rotation is on David Stearns. David Stearns doesn't want to spend money to now go get good, adequate pitching and constantly want to bring guys in for projects and rely on the pitching lab. Dom said it about Kodai Senga. What could you have really thought his ceiling was going to be? He pitched in one start last year, and it was only for 5-6 innings. And then he pitched in the playoffs 2 innings against the Phillies, and then looked like a guy who makes sense, didn't pitch in the regular season and didn't do well against the Dodgers in the NLCS. Yes, there is blame to go around with the players too. They have to perform. But folks, Dom just said it. Pitching in the playoffs is what gets you far. And he did not set up the rotation for stability. He just didn't. And yes, Minaya, he got hurt before spring training even started. You could have turned around and signed Jose Quintana. That would have been a good, reliable veteran. He did well for you the year before. Frankie Montas, we all knew from the beginning of December that was going to be a terrible signing. Griffin Canning, yeah, he was having a miraculous, first 2.5, 3 months of the season. But he was starting to regress even before he hurt his Achilles, and now you lost him for the year. In that month of June, you lost Kodai Senga, Griffin Canning, Tyler McGill, and Paul Blackburn. Yes, the last 2 names I just said aren't great pitchers, but it's pitching depth that we're talking about here. You lost all that before the month of June even ended. So you had time to look at pitchers to bring in and set yourself up for a pitching trade at the trade deadline. As I've said ad nauseum, Joe Ryan for the Minnesota Twins, I don't care what other teams do at the deadline. You need pitching, and yes, you got bullpen help. Now, is it a shame that Ryan Helsley hasn't performed up to the standard that you expected, or at least the standard that he had in St. Louis? Yeah, that sucks. Tyler Rogers, this month has been iffy, but the month of August he did well, and then Gregory Soto did well for the first maybe couple weeks. But then by the end of August, he was starting to fall apart. So, yeah, that stinks. I'm not going to put that 100% on David Stearns. But now you're also talking about David Peterson, who's exhausted, and he's just over his innings limit. He pitches tomorrow. Do I expect a win? Why the hell would I? He hasn't done well since the All-Star break. Why would I expect a win? And the Mets are going up against a good Cubs pitching rotation who really have bagged it in, Dom. I mean, I know they can't really, they officially can't win the division. The Brewers clinched it this past weekend, which I expected. Yep. And I don't think they're going to fall out of the first wild card spot. I know the Padres are only 3 games behind them, but I think the Cubs are set at the first wild card spot, and they already clinched the playoffs. So really, they don't have much to play for. They showed it against the Reds, but really, I don't want any fans blaming the Cubs. Blame the Mets. They're the ones who played down to the competition. Don't blame the Cubs. Blame your own team. So that's everything there, right? Relying on these young guys at starting pitching. I mean, I've said it multiple times. I'll say it again. It's not fair to them. Okay, you easily could have called up Sprode and McLean much earlier than the August 16th date. You wanted to save the 2030 year of team control. Wow, congrats. It looks like it may cost you at the end of the day. So there goes that. I mean, it's unbelievable. Oh, an extra year of team control. If they do well, you just extend them early, for the love of God. I mean, it's not that hard to understand. You want to save 20, 30 year of team control. Now it may cost you the playoffs. So what are you going to do? Sit in front of the camera, give me that dumb smirk on your face that you always do in the winter, or what you were even doing when you were in Milwaukee? I don't give a crap, okay? You should have easily had the last wildcard spot locked up, but you didn't have the rotation. And I said this. It only takes a start or two for these young guys to not do well, and now it's costing you playoff positioning. Well, here you go. Here you go. It's here. What did I tell you?
Yep.
It's here. There it is. I mean, you're talking about such mishap and a bunch of mistakes that you're now going to waste Juan Soto's career high in dingbats at 42, leading the league in walks and on base percentage, and Alonso hit 37 homers and 122 RBIs. Brandon Nimmo has tied his career high in homers at 24. He's only 2 RBIs away from tying his career high of RBIs at 90. Francisco Lindor is 2 dingbats away from having another 30-30 season, 30 homers, 30 stolen bases. And you didn't want to pay pitchers, and you didn't want to trade for one on the July 31st trade deadline. And
And
now
also,
look what you're throwing in the trash. I
Pete
mean,
Alonso's only on a
hey, look,
1-year deal, right?
who?
Pete Alonso is only on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, he's gonna opt out. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I would. Now, I'm gonna get to his name again a little bit down the road, but the Mets, I firmly believe are gonna miss the postseason. I mean, even if they make it, they're not really a playoff team. I mean, from what I saw this past weekend, they just don't look like a playoff team. And playoff teams, they show up in the dog days of August and September. And, starting that big series against the Phillies end of August when they swept them, I mean, I even said, even before that series started, I said they weren't going to make the playoffs. Now, yes, when you sweep the Phillies and you come, now only what? I think at that time when they swept them, it was four games behind the Phillies, and you had a whole month of September to go, and you had the Marlins coming in, but you didn't take care of business. And really, from that series on, the end of August, losing 3 or 4 to the Marlins, that's when it started just going downhill. Yeah, you won 2 of 3 to the Tigers in Detroit, but look at Detroit. Detroit's about to lose the division. They were up 15.5, middle of July. Can you believe this? The Guardians have won 10 in a row, and now the Tigers are about to lose the division. So how much do I really care about the Mets winning 2 of 3 at the beginning of September? Not that much. The
Nope.
Tigers are about to collapse. It's going to be literally, I don't know if it's going to be maybe as worse or worse than the 2007 Mets. I
Oh,
mean,
God.
I can't believe what's going on in the AL Central.
Especially with
Can't believe
Screwball
it.
being hurt.
Dom, I know, but I mean, damn.
I mean, yeah. Besides that, yeah, they looked like the hottest team in baseball in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the first, what? End of March to end of April, end of May, end of June for 3.5 months. It's
Yep.
crazy. It's
And
absolutely nuts.
yeah, now it's all up in the air now.
Yeah, no kidding. So, that's what's going on with the Mets. I mean, we're going to talk about. I mean, they play coming up. They have a couple of teams. We're going to get to the, take a seat. Let's predict. But I just want to make it clear to the Met fans right now. Carlos Mendoza will be back next year. Let's put this assumption that Mendoza is getting fired. Folks, I want you to understand something.
No, why would he? Yeah.
Right. If the Mets fire Carlos Mendoza after this season, Dom, do you realize that when Terry Collins left after the 2017 season, it's going to be a fourth straight manager that's only managed this team for 2 years?
Did not know that.
Where's the stability? Where is it? It's not there. So you really think David Stearns is going to add that to the list? After Terry Collins left, after the 2017 season, whatever you want to say, didn't get extended, didn't resign, fired, left, whatever you want to say it. 2018, 2019, Mickey Callaway. Then Steve Cohen bought the team November 2020. Okay, after the COVID 2020 season, that was Louis Rojas. He let Louis Rojas coach or manage whatever 2021 season. So there's 2 years. He was gone. Then 2022-23 was Buck Showalter. He was gone. So now Mendoza, 2024-25, he's going to be gone too. So as I said before with the filtering out QBs for the Jets, it's the same thing here. You're going to keep filtering out managers every 2 years? I mean, at some point, you got to let the guy go through the 3-year contract. He signed a 3-year contract. You got to let him at least go the full contract and give him the 3rd year. You have to. You can't go 2 years per manager the rest of the whole franchise, like the rest of the whole time. I mean, the franchise can't do it. They can't do it every 2 years, new manager. I know people are clamoring for Carlos Beltran. I know. I'm aware. But you got to give the guy at least till the end of his contract. It can't be a 2-year and done thing. It's BS. The other thing is second highest payroll in baseball. I know everyone's screaming about that right now, and for good reason. It's over $300 million. They have now generated a Cohen tax. I mean, for Christ's Lord, there's a Cohen tax now named after the guy in the MLB. But folks, where's the money not going to? The pitching. The money's not going to the pitching. What? They gave Shabaniah 3 years, $75 million. Sanga's got, we broke down his contract, Dom. You remember, I did the screen share weeks ago. He's still got another 2 more years, $15 million each. I mean, 25 per year, 15 per year. It's something. It's not a ton. I mean, do the math. That's only 40 right there out of the 340 of the payroll. It's only 40 million. And then you got Clay Holmes, 3 years, 38. You got these numbers are not astronomical. So you want to keep on bringing in pitchers for projects. Well, great. Looks like you're going to keep on missing the playoffs as expected. I mean, you got to go get a pitcher. Now, if Freddie Peralta becomes a free agent, now he is somewhat controllable with the Brewers, but if he somehow becomes available, if I'm the Mets, I'm signing the guy. I don't want Dylan Cease. I'll tell you that right now. I do
No.
not want Dylan Cease.
Hell no.
Hell no. Don't
No.
want him. If Freddie Peralta's available, go get him. The problem is, though, Dom, I thought Tarek Skubal was a free agent after this year. He's not. He's got one more year of
No.
arbitration.
He has one more year.
He's got one more year. So, really, dude, I don't know if you look at the pitching list. It's not very strong.
We looked at it one episode. I remember it wasn't strong at all. But
It
I'm
wasn't
pulling it
strong.
up again to
We looked at guys
remind
like Zach
myself.
Gallen, Freddie Peralta, Dylan Cease. Michael King has a mutual option, so they'll have to come to terms on it and see what they're going to do for next year. I mean, Michael King got clobbered by the Mets last Tuesday, and he really hasn't pitched much this year. I think he made, when he versed the Mets last week, I think it was like his third start since May. I mean, he hasn't really pitched. So if I were him, I would try to opt in for next year. So don't expect the Mets to even look for him. I wouldn't. But the list isn't very strong. And Dom, while you're looking at that, the last thing I'll say, these are the 5 names that I would like to see gone, with one of them being an inevitable goner due to contract request when the Mets do not make the playoffs, when we talk again this time next week. Number 1, Jeff McNeil. It's time. Man's got one more year on his contract. I would like to see him get traded. My uncle was like, "Oh, what are you going to trade him for? Him a bag of chips?" I was like, "Dude, he's got good OPS numbers. He's got good stats. Somebody will take him. He's a great utility player. I would trade him." Number 2, I've said this multiple times. I even made a reel about it. Brandon Nimmo. He's got great numbers this year, but the man has a noodle for an arm at left field. I mean, I don't know if you saw his recent throw at home plate against the Padres last week, Dom. I mean, I honestly thought my brother's brand new dog Theo could have thrown better than Brandon Nimmo in left field. I mean, it was pathetic. It was terrible. And honestly, that guy hitting third on Sunday, I couldn't even believe it. But him, I'm done with the roller coaster. He doesn't have many big hits. Maybe he's had one this year, and it was against Joe and Duran, but it was bases loaded, nobody out tie game. So if he wasn't going to come through, I'm sure the next guy was going to. So whatever. That's another guy. 3 is, yeah, there it is. Bingo. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. For the people who are listening to this podcast, not viewing, Dom just showed me a picture of an AI-generated noodle arm of Brandon Nimmo. That's literally what it is. I mean, dude, he's terrible. He can't throw. He can't. He's not a good left fielder. I would package him up and maybe try to get Stephen Kwan. As I said, he's got 2 more years of pre-arbitration, and that would be a great pickup for the Mets. Great leadoff hitter, solid contact, has some power. He's got double-digit homers this year. Have him in left field. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins his 4th straight Gold Glove after this season. He won 22-24. He's got 3 straight Gold Gloves the past 3 years. Number 3 is David Peterson. I mean, he's got one more year of team control, and then he's going to be asking for some sort of money. I know his second half wasn't great, but he still made the All-Star team, and he's got one more year. And honestly, I don't need to keep seeing David Peterson go full count on every batter and then have, a good 10 starts, a bad 10 starts. And then, he just can't find it with his put-away pitches. He's a ground ball pitcher. Usually ground ball pitchers don't have great put-away pitches. Number 4, Kodai Senga. I even said last week, Tom, you remember, send him back to Japan, send him to Yemen, Oman. I don't care where you send him. I don't want to question going into another season, questioning if he's going to be pitching for my team with his injury concerns. And he pitched, what was it, last Friday? Last Friday night, he pitched for AAA, gave up like 4 runs in 3 2/3 innings. Man's cooked. So forget about that. And the last guy, and it's the inevitable goner, it's Pete Alonso. He's going to be requesting a lot of money. The contract is going to be heavy. And I just don't see David Stearns looking to pay this man what he wants.
They didn't want anyway.
Say again?
They didn't want to. Like,
no.
They signed him late just for a 1-year deal.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and this is going to last. But I can tell you right now, aside from Pete Alonso, the biggest thing you got to look at is definitely the pitching, but you do have a young nucleus of pitchers, and you got another one coming back. See how he does first year off Tommy John surgery, Christian Scott, that is. And maybe a couple other names, Jake Wettinger, however you say his last name, and Jonathan Santucci. Maybe they can get called up in the middle of the season next year, but I would still look to get a reliable, good veteran pitcher here, and you got to look at the outfield. Cedric Mullins, I mean, he's got to be the worst trade deadline acquisition the Mets have ever made, and they still got to get a center fielder. I mean, he's terrible. He is just god-awful. I mean, there's a reason why me and Dom didn't want him. The writing was on the wall. I never wanted him traded here. and he is just so bad. And they got to get a center fielder. I would try to trade Nimmo, but those are my list of 5 guys, Dom, with Pete Alonso being the inevitable goner. Viewers and listeners, leave a comment below of who your 5 names would be that you would want to see gone, or that would be inevitable goners. I would love to see other people's, lists of names that they would want gone after this year. And lastly, I said it again, I'll just repeat it. I believe at this time next week, we're going to be talking about only the Yankees being in the playoffs.
I'm looking at some of the names on the list who are free agents. There are some good names. Um, they have Jordan Montgomery. I mean, Chris Sale though, but he's gonna be 37 next year.
That's tough.
The most enticing one is Zach Gallen.
Yeah, but his numbers I don't think are great this year, Dom.
They're not that great, but he's still only 30.
Yeah.
And then you got Imanaga, which I wouldn't be surprised if he stays in Chicago. But he is 32 and he did get hurt this year. And then you also have, I don't even know what Shane Bieber's numbers are, but he only had a 1-year contract with the Blue Jays.
The Dom, I'm telling you, the big name, and it really is going to come down to what the Milwaukee Brewers do. But the name to go after if he becomes available and the Brewers part ways with him is Freddie Peralta. But the thing is, dude, Freddie Peralta's numbers this year: 31 games pitched, 17 wins, 2.65 ERA. I don't see how you part with him. So if
Yeah,
it's not Freddie Peralta, I'm not sure who else they're going to go after. I guess you could try Zach Allen. It's just David Stearns is very stingy when it comes to paying pitchers. And look, it's about a bite him in the ass. I don't see the Mets, I just don't see them, playing well the last week of this season. So, you know,
here's one. What about
Mhm.
Michael King?
I said already,
Yeah,
mutual option. He barely pitched this year. I would see him opting back in for the Padres. Why wouldn't you take the money? He didn't really pitch much, and he just got shelled by the Mets last Tuesday.
he
No,
could he could miss New York. Just saying.
I don't know. I mean, you know what? Hey, if you put down on a big sign on his forehead, project, yeah, maybe David Stearns will pick him up because that's what David Stearns loves. So I don't know. It's just it's absurd. Him and his damn pitching lab. It's crazy. But that's that. So now the last segment here. Take a seat. Let's predict. Dom, you go first with the Yankees, as you said before. At home for the White Sox and at home for the Orioles. Last MLB weekly prediction. This is it. Where do you see the Yankees finishing, and what's the record?
I'd say 4-2, and they would lose a game each. One game to Baltimore and one game to Chicago. For some reason, we can't close out the White Sox. Just can't. Just
So
can't.
you.
And
Mhm.
and yeah, like with Baltimore, every game has been close, really, except for I think one game that we played was like just a blowout. But every other game's been close, and it's a divisional team. So I'll say we'll probably lose another game to them as well. So I'd probably go 4-2.
Okay. And so you say that they would lock up the first wild card spot. And I mean, right now Boston, I think, is only one game. I mean, that's a tight race for the second wild card spot in the AL. As of right now, yeah, Boston's one game ahead of Cleveland. So I'm not going to say who they're going to play because that could change. It's either going to be Boston, Cleveland, or Houston. Texas is definitely out of it. 5 games back, 6 games
Yeah,
left. So it's going to either be Yankees will play at home against either Boston, Cleveland, or Houston. Which team do you see that being, do you think?
I'd probably say uh that is hard. Well, wait, what's their Houston?
Guardians are playing the Tigers starting tomorrow at Cleveland. That's going to be insane. That's going to be a packed house in Cleveland. And then Rangers at Guardians to finish the season. And then for Houston, it is at
Oh,
Athletics
they play
and
Athletic
at
and the
Angels.
Angels.
hmm
See you in Houston.
I'm not going to lie to you. Uh,
Or wait, what's their stand?
Boston's got Blue Jays and Tigers to finish the season.
What's Seattle though? They have
Yeah, that too. That's
no,
right.
they have the Rockies and the Dodgers. So literally one of the best teams and one of the worst teams.
I truthfully think that Seattle wins the division. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna go out on a whim here, and just based off their hot streak, I'm gonna say it's gonna be Yankees Guardians wild card in New York.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Yankees Guardians.
That's
So
definitely that's a good pick.
Yeah,
But this could come down to the wire though with the Mariners and the Astros.
it could. Oh, it could. But I just think that I just think with Cleveland's hot streak and if they take even if they take 2 out of 3 against the Tigers and then they play who did I say the Guardians wrap up the season with? I think the Rangers. Yeah.
The Ra-
So, but I'm gonna say Yankees Guardians, and Game 1 would be a week from tomorrow. It'll be Tuesday, September 30th. Yeah,
Sounds about right.
yeah. For the
Makes sense.
Mets, at Cubs, at Marlins, I'm gonna go straight 2-4. I don't care that I was wrong and they went 3-3 last week. I'm going 2-4 again, and they missed the playoffs. The Reds are playing the lowly Pirates. I know Paul Skeens is pitching against the Reds on Wednesday, but so is Hunter Green. It's ace against ace. It's Paul Skeens against Hunter Green on Wednesday, and I just think the Reds take care of business, and then the Reds finish the season with the Brewers, and the Brewers have nothing to play for. They clinched the division already. They're 3 games ahead of the Phillies for the best record in the NL. So I say the Mets go 2-4 and they miss the playoffs. And there's going to be some uproar with the fans at this time next week, I believe. And David Stearns is going to have some questions to answer because it's not a good look for you to fizzle out in regards to the last wild card spot with the Cincinnati Reds. I could see Mets fans saying, "Oh my God, this is like 07-08." Yeah, at least 07-08, the Phillies were a good team. We're going up against the goddamn Cincinnati Reds, so it's a little different, I think. But I think they go 2-4 and they miss the playoffs. So that's the Mets. Giants versus Chargers. I already gave you my prediction for this Sunday 1 p.m. game. Dom, what do you got?
What do you think?
Right, 0-4. Great.
Yep.
Figured. Yeah, I was just, I got to ask the question, dude. It's a segment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
So you go loss.
I said it like that for the atmosphere.
You want to give a final score if you can?
21-6.
Okay. Oh, God. Looks like Russell Wilson's playing the whole game. All right. 21-6. Okay. Jets at Dolphins Monday Night Football.
That could be a good game.
Could be.
That could
That's
be.
why I'm a little hesitant on my prediction. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going loss. It's in Miami. Jets don't play well in Miami. Let's be real. I mean, if the Jets win, Mike McDaniel's got to be fired. I mean, there's no way he stays past week 4. It's just he's got to be fired. People are already saying that he won't be coaching the team next year. The Dolphins lose the Jets at home in Miami. He's got to be let go. So that's that's my take on that. And Tyreek Hill, talk about like Malik Neighbors getting sick and tired of the Giants. I think Tyreek Hill's dying to get out of Dodge, get out of that team over there in Miami. I feel like it's just only a matter of time. He's a ticking time bomb before he just starts going nuts on the locker room.
Yeah, he's been checked out this year. All off season, he's been in the headlines for a bunch of crazy things. I remember he was talking about once he retires, he wants to be a porn star. He just wants to do everything but play football. He's not there.
He's nuts.
The only reason why he's so good is because he's probably the fastest dude in the league. So
That's exactly what it is.
So he's mentally checked out, and give him the ball, or else he'll destroy the locker room. So
Yep, bingo.
That's how it goes.
Yep. Anything else, Tom, you got to say before I wrap up today's episode?
Yes, I've been getting flooded with text messages because Anthony Volpe had 4 hits in this series against the Orioles because he actually did change his swing. He changed his stance and he changed his swing. Relax. Everyone take it easy. 1 series. I'm getting your text messages and I'm not answering any of them. I don't care. I see it. I'm looking. I'm hearing. I'm not making a big fuss about this. It's 1 series. Congratulations, you changed your swing. All right, 4 games. All right, doesn't faze me one bit. And fire Shane Bowen. He should be gone. But they're not going to fire him. And I said it last week, but they're not going to do it. So those are the last 2 things I got. I was going to talk about the Anthony Volpe thing earlier, but I was like, should I? I'm like, But I'm like, it is somewhat news right now. So I was like, all right.
I think you saved it for the right time. I think you saved it for the right, moment in the episode. I mean, listen, I'm in agreement with, firing, defensive coordinators. I can't watch this putrid defense. I mean, I keep warning people week to week. The Jets defense is god awful. So, that's really all I have to say about that. We could ramble about Jets, Giants, New York football all day long, but I'm not going to. So,
Sounds good.
yeah.
I think we did enough of that.
Yeah, enough of that. Going to be 0-4 by this time next week. Well, that's going to do it for today. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to today's episode of the FTB podcast on either YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Be sure to like this episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss any of our shows. See you folks on Monday. Peace.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.